Hi, and welcome to another very insightful conversation here with me, Carmel Fisher, on the Harvest podcast. Importantly, Harvest Communications is a marketing partner, an official marketing partner for Deal Flow events and their Discovery Day on nuclear energy. It is the inaugural event of their Discovery Days, and this is really just a forum that will help to uncover new investment opportunities, exchanging ideas with industry stakeholders, and a bunch of other exciting stuff. A very niche, intimate setting, which is coming up May 22nd, Midtown, New York City. We'll be covering all of that information and bringing you spotlights on some of the attending companies.
Brought to you, as always, by the Harvest Podcast, available anywhere you listen to podcasts.
So with me today, very excited to introduce CEO Chris Pehrson. He is the CEO of MobileNuclear Energy LLC. Chris, excited to have you here. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Carmel. It's great to be here. And thanks for your interest in MobileNuclear.
Of course, it's a really interesting time, a really pivotal renaissance feel to this nuclear energy industry, the sectors involved. But as a start, let's jump straight into who MobileNuclear Energy is, what your guys' mission is, and just give us a bit of intel into the next, say, 5 years projected that you see.
Sure. So MobileNuclear Energy is a small startup company. We actually started with the U.S. Army back in 2019 timeframe. They had a concept for a mobile reactor. And actually, the Army built a mobile reactor in the 1960s. So it's not an old idea. This is kind of a refresh with new technology. The Army Futures Command gave some requirements to the University of South Carolina where the technology was matured. Then our co-founders, Jay Dietzig and Travis Knight, decided to take the company to commercialize the technology. So we secured the rights to the reactor design. And for the past 6 months or so, we've been in the fundraising process to really launch the project and get moving.
Excellent. So a great addition to this event that's coming up. And so on that note, as the CEO of MobileNuclear, you've positioned the company at the intersection of advanced nuclear technology and national security. What specifically drew you to the Discovery Day that it will be focused on nuclear energy? And what are you hoping that industry stakeholders and investors will take away from your participation?
So I see Discovery Day as more than just an opportunity to showcase our technology. You know, as much of a technologist or a geek that I am, I really enjoy the technology. It's about so much more than that. I think it's a forum for shaping the future of energy resilience and really informing how energy is so critical to national security and then the broader energy security, both in the civil and the commercial sector. I think we're here because the world is waking up to the need for distributed, reliable, resilient energy. The grid is a brittle, vulnerable infrastructure. You look at places around the world, disaster areas, remote islands, Haiti, Gaza, Ukraine. These are all places that energy is so critical to restoring the safety and security of the populations. And I think MobileNuclear can really contribute to that. We're not designing a gigawatt scale power plant or even a megawatt scale SMR. What we're really talking about is a kilowatt scale reactor that truly is mobile. Our design features allow us to be put on the back of a truck, loaded in the back of an airplane, even sling loaded by a large helicopter into a remote area and be up and running in a matter of hours. If you think of the levelized cost of electricity for remote islands that require constant resupply of diesel fuel, we're competitive and even beat those rates over like a 10, 20-year time frame. The mobile nuclear systems can close critical gaps, whether it's a critical load at a hospital. It's going to be resilient during storms or when the grid goes down. You have these must not fail nodes of critical capabilities, and that's where MobileNuclear can really add that resiliency. For investors, I hope they come away with a sense of just how close we are to deploying a real solution to real problems. Why MobileNuclear is uniquely positioned to lead in that effort. I really think we have a great technology, we've got a great team, and a great market opportunity in front of us.
So your company's also been quoted as developing the world's lightest, safest, and most mobile nuclear microreactor systems. How do these mobile solutions differ from traditional SMRs, and what unique advantages do they offer for applications where conventional power infrastructure might be impractical?
So I mentioned Dr. Travis Knight. He's one of our co-founders. He's still the head of the nuclear engineering department at the University of South Carolina, and his background was in space reactors. So unlike other nuclear power, we've taken a small reactor design to go on orbit or to be launched into space and kind of growing that into our size. Other reactors are taking large gigawatt scale or megawatt scale power plants and trying to shrink them down. So we're really kind of taking it from the other direction to build a larger reactor to meet the power requirements. Traditional SMRs are an important advancement. The safety features, the inherent passive safety, the fuels they use, they're going to be a tremendous capability, but they're typically designed for fixed facilities, fixed installations. And they take extensive time to deploy and set up and start running. Our microreactors, on the other hand, flip the model. We're designed to be moved, set up and operating within a matter of hours, not days or weeks, but hours. Obviously, the disaster relief applications or the military when they're moving between islands in the Pacific or wherever else they might need power. This is a tremendous versatility and operational capability it gives them. But designing for mobility also means that we're designing for safety. So there's nothing that says we couldn't be deployed to a site and become a fixed facility, if you will. We have the shielding and the safety features where we could be up and powering a hospital, for decades without requiring refueling, or I'm sorry, for years without requiring refueling. Our design is unique in the sense that we don't have any liquids that can slosh around. The high temperature gas reactor design allows us to rapidly start up and rapidly shut down without having the latent heat problems of a liquid metal or molten salt. So the technology is really there for that mobile design. The moderator we're using is pretty lightweight. And then we have a shielding that's proprietary technology. You have your traditional primary shielding, but the secondary shielding that we're using, it really helps us lighten the design as well. And when we set those target goals, the objective goals of, like I said, being able to load on a truck or a helicopter or the back of a C-130 and really move around to wherever power is needed. I think we're delivering unprecedented heat and scale to remote off-grid locations. And it's more than just the power and the heat. We're offering a suite of capabilities. We're designing to be a modular system of systems and actually teaming with industry partners that can do atmospheric water generation, desalination. We can do wastewater treatment. And all of these capabilities, we're talking with our partners about making sure we can fit them into those 20-foot shipping containers, deploy them to a remote area, and then provide potable water, provide remote EV charging, all those life-saving features that would be essential for disaster recovery or just to set up operations in remote areas. It's that plug-and-play capability and a system of systems approach that I think is really going to set us apart.
Incredible. Really, really so needed too with everything going on. So speaking of everything going on, there are huge demands for energy with AI data centers, and obviously this is driving renewed interest in nuclear power. Do you see mobile microreactors playing a role in powering tech infrastructure? And if so, what timeline might we be looking at for deployment?
Yeah, absolutely. I see a role for us, and the surge in interest, the renewed interest in nuclear is really being driven by the tech sector. You have the Googles and the Amazons and Microsofts all investing in this space. Typically, those data centers require megawatts of power. So our reactor is not going to power a facility by itself, but we can support those critical loads, critical capabilities inside the data centers. And then when you move to what we call edge data centers that are more remote or tactical environments, again, this is not just the military, but it's also civilian applications as well. Think of a trailer that has racks of computing equipment. We're the right size to be able to power something like that. And again, move with the system, set up with the system, and be up and running in hours versus days or setting up a grid. I think the data centers are really leading the way. It's waking people up to the fragile nature of the grid itself. And everybody wants their power at the point of need. So I think mobile reactors, whether they're deployed to a site and operate there for years, or if they move forward or have mobility around the space, I think there's going to be great applications for us. We're designing to be scalable. We're not a one-trick pony with our current design. We have a portfolio of capabilities, so we are looking at larger megawatts scale. Not necessarily quite as mobile as our current design, but something that can also be deployed and transportable to remote locations, providing power in the order of megawatts of electricity versus the kilowatts that we have today. I think we're a natural fit for those modular autonomous data centers that are going to be deployed around the world.
Excellent. So speak to us now a little bit about your team, which does combine expertise in nuclear energy, national security, of course, business growth, government acquisition, quite a diverse background. How has this influenced MobileNuclear's approach to innovation, market strategy, and what's traditionally been a highly regulated industry in what has been traditionally very highly regulated?
And will continue to be. Yes.
Right.
So
Yes.
I can't say enough about my team. I'm so lucky to work with such tremendous colleagues. Wealth of experience, great personalities. It's the technology that kind of draws you into the door, that gets you excited, but it's the people that make you stay. Our team comes from defense. Myself, I was career Air Force. Spent 15 years in industry, mostly at General Atomics, but also at Huntington Ingalls. Both nuclear companies. We have a team that 35 years in the investment sector with insurance and risk mitigation in energy. We have one of our partners is a co-founder of several startups, one of which grew to a $2 billion industry in 4 years. So he's got a great experience with the startup and growing a company. Federal acquisition. I've worked government contracts, both large scale procurements as well as R&D initiatives. So I understand how to navigate the complexities of I appreciate the complexities of navigating government acquisition. Not sure really anybody understands it, but the national security piece, that's probably our launch customer. That's our fastest path to certification and getting all the regulatory compliance done. But then it'll open up tremendous dual use opportunities with the commercial sector as well. And I think with the right team at the right time to make this happen. I would say that we understand how to innovate in high stakes, highly regulated. I did background in aviation, another highly regulated, safety conscious industry, and that's been crucial to our success. We've structured our development strategy to de-risk regulatory and technical milestones along the way. And we're proactively engaging with the end users like the Army. We're talking to actually one of our unique customers is a luxury resort company. They're thinking of powering their hotels and resort infrastructure with these mobile reactors on remote islands. So a tremendous opportunity there, but again, a lot of regulatory concerns we have to work through. We're talking to the Department of Energy, Department of Defense, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, and also working closely with the national labs, Oak Ridge, Idaho, Sandia, and really understanding who the people are first, so you can build that trust and relationship, and then what the policies and processes are to move forward and make sure that as our technology matures, we're in lockstep with making sure that we meet all the regulatory and certification requirements moving forward.
Awesome. Now, looking ahead 5 to 10 years, what barriers do you see as most critical to overcome for widespread adoption of your microreactor technology? And how is MobileNuclear addressing these challenges? Are you doing it differently than others in the nuclear space at all?
I think we are unique, although I think others will want to copy our model. Eventually, the site-specific licenses, that traditionally a nuclear license has been granted to a specific location with the specific boundaries, environmental impact survey, groundwater surveys, all these different things. We're really focused on what's called a design-specific license. So we want our reactor design to be certified, and that makes the siting of the locations much less onerous because we know that the design itself is inherently safe and inherently able to go to different places with minimal site preparation or no site mitigation after it moves. So it's really the regulatory is one potential risk in the area that they're working. Another one is just perception. We have Fukushima, 3 Mile Island, Chernobyl, a lot of not in my backyard feelings about nuclear right now. Although I do think that is changing. I think as you see the first of these systems deployed, people are going to realize that they are inherently safe, that they really do provide clean, carbon-free power, and they're not noisy, they're not dirty. There's never been a life lost in the U.S. to a nuclear accident since their introduction back in the 1950s. So it really is a safe industry. So yeah, there is that public perception, and then also the manufacturability. I came from General Atomics, where we mass produced aircraft. We did all the way from the design to the early prototyping to the mass production. I don't see MobileNuclear as a laboratory. We're not going to be a research and development organization. We're going to mass produce. We're going to build for manufacturability. That means configuration control. It means scalability. It means a well-regulated supply chain, and really ramping up the production where my goal is to produce hundreds of these a year and get them widely deployed. The demand signal is off the charts. We calculate conservatively, 16,000 different applications or actually deployments for the applications. So I think it's going to be demand driven, and the constraint is going to be our production capacity once we're up and running.
Fantastic. So excited to learn more about mobile nuclear energy at the Discovery Day on Nuclear Energy coming up, hosted by Deal Flow Events. Again, this is going to be a forum that brings together the brightest minds and thought leaders and experts and breakthrough companies, as you've just heard from Chris Pehrson here. Companies that are really going to lead the conversation throughout this renaissance of nuclear energy. And it's a big pivotal moment, an important industry. So if you want to hear more about that event coming up as a potential investor or analyst, do apply and just visit the website on Dealflow. discoverydays.com/nuclear_energy. We'll have it up for you here as well. But this has been a fantastic conversation, Chris. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you in person soon.
Thank you, Carmel. I'm looking forward to the event.
Brought to you as always by the Harvest Podcast, available anywhere you listen to podcasts.